Hello everyone, it's Ewan from WhatCulture.com, and surprise, surprise, turns out Avengers 4, the once dubbed Infinity War Part 2, has a lot to do with Infinity War. So if you've somehow not seen that film, turn away around, go, out there, the door's there. The third Avengers film, which is out traumatizing fans everywhere for a presumably record-breaking stint in theaters, has left more mysteries to solve than it has answered. And while the follow-up that'll provide those definite conclusions is still a year out, Infinity War's unresolved mysteries can still be explained in the here and now. The film's most pressing mysteries, who lives, who dies, who tells their story, have given fans everywhere a massive headache. But hey, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe after all. Teasers are the name of the game, if those 50-odd post-credits sequence probably didn't make that apparent already. Whether or not that makes the film less impactful is up to each person who sees it, but that doesn't make Infinity War's cliffhangers, devastating moments, or its many surprises any less intriguing. The status quo has been snapped out of existence, and while we can't do anything to make the wait for next year any less excruciating, we can do our bit to allay fears and explain some of those pressing concerns every fan is likely to have. With that in mind, I'm Ewan from What Culture, and here are my attempts to answer those mysteries Infinity War raised. Number 3. How did the Red Skull get to Vormir? Of all the surprises Infinity War managed to bring to the table, the reveal of Red Skull has to be its biggest. Presumed dead in the wake of Captain America the First Avenger and in light of Hugo Weaving's criticism of Marvel Studios, Red Skull looked as though he'd already made his last contribution to the Marvel Universe, with that legacy continued under Hydra in Captain America the Winter Soldier. That clearly wasn't the case in Avengers Infinity War, however, with the Red Skull playing a pivotal role as the guardian of the Soul Stone on the planet Vormir, where everything in the film basically goes to shit. It's his words that make Thanos sacrifice Gamora to retrieve the gem, and while he's unseen for the rest of the film, he made one heck of an impression in but a few minutes of screen time. The character, played by Ross Marquand, has been imbued with new powers and a new title, that of Stonekeeper. The answer to how he gets there is provided at the end of Captain America the First Avenger, where the character is sucked up into the Tesseract shortly after it projects a cosmic map onto his flying wing. Theories had abounded in the years since, contemplating the character's destination, but Infinity War illustrates that the Cosmic Cube, also known as the Space Stone, had sent him to Vormir directly to safeguard its relative. Interesting to note is that the skull touches the Tesseract as he's dying. Sensing his impending demise, it's likely that the stone sent the skull to the one place where his presumably soulless self could survive. Hence all the new powers and ghostly demeanor. There's also the fact that in the comics, Vormir is set in the Kree galaxy. When's Captain Marvel set? In the Kree-Skrull War. Now, obviously, we don't know the validity of these rumors before, saying that Red Skull might potentially feature in this film, but Samuel L. Jackson did go on record the other year, saying, in a slip-up most likely, that he's been looking for the skull. The galaxy itself comprises dozens of planets, of course, but when you consider that Samuel L. Jackson himself may have accidentally let slip that Nick Fury's been looking for the Red Skull, and the fact that he has a role in Captain Marvel, well, you can see how the two come together. Number 2. Why did Doctor Strange willingly cede the Time Stone? In the context of Infinity War, yeah, Doctor Strange handing over the Time Stone to Thanos isn't the best look, but let's be clear. He clearly has a plan to play here. Prior to Strange, Iron Man, Spidey, and the remaining Guardians' encounter with Thanos on Titan, the good Doctor takes a moment to reflect upon the task at hand. He uses the Eye of Agamotto to look into the future in hope of finding just one future out of a possible 14 million where the Avengers could overcome Thanos. He finds it, but he dares not inform his comrades of how they achieve it in fear of jeopardizing their one hope at success. There's nothing to indicate that Strange reversed his position of prioritizing the Eye over the lives of Tony and Peter either, so there must be an ulterior motive at play. This makes the Sorcerer Supreme an integral figure for the upcoming Avengers 4, and while he didn't look completely content in his death, this is clearly the group's best shot at reversing the unthinkable. Also interesting to note was the Russo brothers' priorities of Civil War's Bath technology, which could hold the key to defeating Thanos and explain those earlier decidedly spoilerific set photos for the next sequel. Number 1. How do the deaths all relate to Avengers 4? Everyone is still processing the veritable ash pile that was Infinity War's ending, and while it might be difficult to consider that Avengers 4 might, just maybe, have even deadlier consequences, there are connotations of those deaths we must consider. To begin with, all the Avengers who pass on in this film, Bucky, Spider-Man, Drax, Groot, Star-Lord, Mantis, and pretty much everyone I'm probably forgetting about as well, oh god, Black Panther, well, they all represent the future of this franchise. They're not going away, and it's pretty obvious that they're coming back. Their deaths are all equally horrific, Bucky and Parker's more so, but it's important to remember that, imperiled though we may be at this stage, Spider-Man will return in a Homecoming sequel in 2019, and that it doesn't negate the years worth of foreshadowing Bucky's had to wield the shield of Captain America. Those who have survived, Cap, Tony, Banner, and all the rest, represent the past of this franchise. They're all going to leave sooner rather than later, and in the context of Avengers 4, well, that could hold some deadly consequences. The original Avengers are the ones who made the MCU what it is today, and while they'll also likely be the ones to save it, the fact they're still around may not bode well in the end. The Avengers, in their original form, are clearly gearing up to defeat Thanos and bring their loved ones back. What cost that'll take is anyone's guess, but it's likely that the appalling loss of life shown at the end of the film will spur both Hawkeye and Ant-Man to step out of the shadows for the upcoming sequel. More haunting, perhaps, is the fact that the heroes are split right down the middle into two groups, on either side of the mortal coil. It's perfectly balanced as Thanos thinks all things should be, but in any case, don't expect all of them to remain dead for long. Just don't expect the happy ending you're hoping for to happen either.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also there's probably more content floating up above my head, so why not check that out as well? Could be a laugh. Probably. 6 out of 10.